Welcome to the latest installment of Super Puppy Podcast. The name of this episode is OMG, I'm an OG. And judging by that laugh, you know who my guest is today. DC comic and man about town, Haywood Turnipseed Jr.
Heyo.
Give it up. Welcome to the show.
Wait. That's another baby with me. Hey,
we got little Maya in the house.
Hey, super puppies.
Yes,
Welcome.
welcome.
Podcasting.
Welcome
You don't have
to
any
the
puppies,
house.
you have a cat.
No, I have a cat. No puppies were harmed in the making of this podcast. Okay, but
way to
people
go,
love
Michael.
puppies, so I just want to get some
Michelle
of that
Vick, okay.
love. Michelle Vick. I'll take it. Look, I'll take them coins.
No, that's right.
All them
I
coins.
know that's right. Hey,
Them dog killing
I'll do it
coins.
for an ASPCA ad.
Right, like looking sad and forlorn. I will do that.
In the arms of the angels.
Don't sing too much because you have to pay it.
That's it. That's all we get.
That's all
That's
we
all
got.
you get. That's all you get. Those,
You know
those
what
few bars.
you know what we were alluding to,
Those
okay?
few bars.
We got Sean in the house. We got a special guest audience member. Courtney died in the house.
Hey, Miss Dodd.
She is in the background chilling, so if you hear extra laugh, that's where it's coming from.
I hope you hear an extra laugh. Oh, what else are we doing on the podcast? Where's that echo?
Right. Just hollowness in the background.
That's it.
If you live in DC, you
I do.
know Haywood from Attack of the Comics.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
You opened for many national comics,
Yes.
correct? We've opened for Hannibal Buress,
Hannibal.
Shot-Town. You've
Yes.
opened for Wyatt Cenac,
Wyatt, yes.
Tony Woods,
Tony Woods.
Sarah Colonna,
Sarah Colonna.
Adam Lowett,
Adam Lewitt.
Colin Quinn,
Colin Quinn coming
Baron
up.
Vaughn,
Baron Vaughn, that's the dude.
and Janine Garofalo.
And Janine Garofalo.
You are very busy.
I am, lately.
That's good. That's, praise God for
Good problem to
that.
have. Good problem to have.
Native of Gary, Indiana,
Yes, I am.
which I tell him every time my dad is from there. So every time I see you, I have to tell
Everybody's from there.
you. Yeah.
One way or another.
So nobody
Morgan
say that.
Freeman.
Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And the rest of the clan.
I have a
The
funny
whole
story
clan.
about Gary. One time I was driving to Chicago with a friend of mine,
Yes.
and we were driving through, like, you know, the bridge going to Gary that'll take you right in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, Michael Jackson lives in Gary. And we, no lie, we're right at Jackson Street.
Yeah, 2300 Jackson Street.
We were like,
It's odd that they lived there.
Yeah.
It was always called Jackson Street.
that is
Yeah,
crazy.
they didn't change it for them.
And we went and took pictures.
Of the house?
Yes.
Now you can do that. It's a tourist attraction.
Oh, it is? Can you
it's
go
like
in
a
there?
tourist- I don't know if you can go in. I think it's gated off.
Oh, okay.
So like people put their hand like
A little plaque or something.
yeah, it's a plaque you sign and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a I don't know if it's a national landmark yet, but it's like a state landmark for sure.
For sure. And a landmark in my heart. Because,
Of course it is. I mean, that little bitty house is where they learned all those moves.
Child,
Jackie
the one with that
Wilson,
little
James Brown.
one-bedroom house.
Yeah, 7 kids.
Oh, they was getting it.
Yeah.
They learned how to do it. They did.
I remember when they did come back when they did. Remember when they made the Jacksons make 2300 Jackson Street?
Yes.
And then they came back on like a tour and a visit of Gary. That was a big deal.
And there was a
That
show,
was huge.
too.
Oh, it was huge. The whole thing was a show.
Right. Yeah,
The
shit
whole thing
show.
was
No,
a show.
no,
It wasn't a shit show.
No, it was not a
That
shit
would be
show.
the president administration. Hey,
Oh.
wacka, wacka, wacka.
And man, it's the opposite of a shit show. It's like a pee show.
It was a pee show. Yeah. They let it rain on everybody. It was amazing. Randy was out there. My mom was like, Randy, you didn't even live here. What did you do?
Randy, right. He just came in like,
He's
I'm
the
a
constant-
Jackson, though.
Yeah.
I'm a Jackson,
He
though.
was the consummate little brother. And of course,
Right.
they still have family that was around there. But the way everybody you meet, you run into one or the other. They swear they know or have been around or are related to.
I would tell you, I would live that lie.
Well, it's true in my case. My mom actually babysat for them a few times.
Stop
Oh, no, yeah, that's true. That's true.
You are royalty in my house.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because I got Michael
Jackie
Jackson.
did remember
every
her when he came back.
corner.
I was like, oh, so it's true. You know, it's not a lie. She was one of the, if you watch the movie, she was one of the girls that they would have outside watching them in the van because they couldn't be in the bars and stuff like that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so-
God bless your mom.
Yeah, she made sure they didn't get too raunchy.
Good for her, because I'm sure that was a tough job, because Jackie was fine.
And she said Michael had a crush on her.
Oh, always with that misguided love,
Hey.
Michael. Focus on the girls, Michael. Okay. More shows, more accolades. Specific ignorance.
Yes, I was recently on. It was great. I've been on a few times. I think I'm the comic who's been on the most.
Yeah.
I have all wins.
Oh, good for you.
Multiple wins. Chris Milner can attest to that.
So you will tell us what that is in a little bit here. We've got Madam's Magical Comedy Show.
Yes, at Madam's Oregon, which is a world famous bar in Adams Morgan, D.C. The catchphrase is, sorry, we're open.
Oh.
So you already know what kind of place it is. Where we have a magical comedy show on Monday nights.
Sorry,
It's got to be
we're
great.
open.
We're on the second floor. We're above One Night Stand. They've been performing there 20 years. This is how instrumental this place is. Chappelle's recently hanging out there.
Oh, nice.
Johnny Artist performs there. Johnny Artist is one of the best bluesmen on the East Coast.
Oh, word.
So it's a residency to a few people, and they recently let myself and Alon New put on the show there. So we've been there a year and a half now. Actually, a year and almost 20 months. It'll be 2 years in February.
Oh, I love it.
So we've been doing well.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Some shows are good, some shows are not good, and most shows are very bad.
What makes them good, right? All right, well, as you can hear in the background, father
Yes.
4?
4. Yes, I am.
Father of 4.
This game from coaching my son's football team. We had a DPR rec day, DC Parks and Rec.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
We coached 6 years. Yeah. We lost royally.
That's okay.
But we did well. We made a strong presence. We let our presence be known. So big up for Stanton.
All right, big up. I don't really understand sports, but
Yes,
I take your word for it.
Win or lose. That's all it is. You're not first, you're last.
I hear what you're saying, but it just doesn't process right. This laugh, we're going to talk about this laugh, which you can purchase as your very own ringtone.
There's a ringtone. Find me, Haywood Turnipseed Jr. right there on Reverb Nation. You can get the laugh. Actually, you can still download it for free until it gets to a certain amount. Then when I get to a certain number, I'm going to start charging 50 cents, 99 cents. And of course, give a portion to charity because that's what it's all about.
What's the number?
The number, the magical number? Okay, it's a magical number.
I would have been like 1. All I
It's 9. If I get 9 souls, then I'm good. That's all I need is 9 souls to say, hey, we want that on a regular basis.
need.
And then
The rest of y'all got to pay.
Hey, that's it. 99 cents. That one is going to the charity.
Right.
The rest is going to feed these babies.
Now let's get into this list of where you performed.
Yes.
This is just a sprinkle of it. A salt dad. What's that mean? The salt?
The dude from the Turkish chef.
Right. This is a salt daddy.
You be dabbing on it.
Sprinkle of
Cam
where
Newton
you've
mixed
been.
with salt.
You've been to DC Improv,
Yes.
930 Club,
Yes.
202 Comedy Festival,
Yes.
Underground Comedy Festival,
Yes.
the Baltimore Comedy Festival,
Yes.
the Lincoln Theater,
Yes.
anything else? Super Puppy
Warner
Podcast.
Theater, Super Puppy Podcast.
Boom.
Yes, Super Puppy Podcast, which is great.
Which is great.
It's on Stitcher and iTunes.
Yeah, it's right on iTunes. Go ahead.
Fun shows, just fun shows. I was going to say that. That's one thing I love about people ask why do I stick around in DC. Actually, I just performed at President Lincoln's Cottage. This is why,
nice.
because you can perform in places like that, which actually have a historical significance as well as a cultural significance and artistic significance. It's like like U Street is was Black Broadway.
Yeah.
So to be performing on Sally's on a regular basis, it's not lost to me that I performed in the places that Duke Ellington walked and Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane and Miles Davis and Bohemian Cavalry and stuff like that. He recorded one of his albums. I bet we were able to perform at Bohemian Cavalry before it closed. So it's that vibe of being in that jazzy area, that just that Harlem Renaissance feel.
Yeah.
In DC is always, because DC is great for the arts. It's a good city. It's not. It's becoming lucrative to be an artist living here. But many artists live here as a residence and then do what they do and then take it around the world. And that's been the goal and the plan. Because they got every airport right here. And I can get
anywhere you need to go.
I can get to Chicago Midway.
Hey.
I could go to Aruba. I could go in from BWI or Dulles or National. I can get anywhere I need to get to in the world, and that's a really good thing. And even places like embassies and stuff like that. You step inside, you're in that country now.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing comedy?
10 years.
10 years. That's it.
10 years.
And all these accolades.
Yeah.
That's a long time and a short time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, DC, man, you get good at DC, you can get work.
Yeah.
And you get work, you should be a working comic. The saddest thing to do is be a comic talking about it.
or not funny.
Well, that too. That's just not a comic. That's a speaker.
Right. You
That's
saw
a
this
public
stage
speaker.
talking. So how long did it take you when you started doing comedy to find your voice?
I'll be honest. I know I'm in the. That's a very good question because I had a unique voice early on, and I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to do was develop it further so that I'd be able to present it on stage. I always knew I had a different thought process. And when I say different, it's just being able to present. We see things differently. So what do I see that's different from what you see?
Yeah.
That makes it funny also still.
Right.
You know, it's one thing to see it different but not be funny. It's a whole other thing to see it different and explain how you see it different and make it funny.
Yeah.
So
and you have it all under like a little bit of time.
Yeah. So early on, that was the goal and the mission. Like, okay, how is this funny? Because I had a lot of premises.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that I thought were funny that I didn't develop into jokes. And then once you start developing them into jokes, it was like, oh, that's my voice.
Yeah.
Because that's the part that's natural. That's the part. The punchline is though. What is that? Oh, that's art.
Yeah.
Okay, but when someone said you can't spell fart without the word art. So fart is very artistic. You know. But same thing with heart. You know, when you say heart, you're looking at his or her art. So that's one of those things when if you can make that just a position and people get it. That's your voice.
Yeah.
So even the way my voice sounds and the way my timbre sounds, I went to a voice coach. She helped me develop it. She's actually, truth be told, she used to work at Duke Ellington.
Wow.
She was a coach of Chappelle at some point and other people who are musicians on the scene. Because there's a lot of singers and songwriters and all kind of artists. I mean, you live in an artist building, you know what I'm talking about. There's all kind of people here who'll be like, what? You do what for who?
Right.
Like, who block for me, 2 houses down is a guy who actually, he's stage director, what's her name, Yolanda Adams.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those things like, and truth be told, I had the fortune, when I moved into my house, there was a guy named Andy Evans who actually lived 3 houses down, and he was the Yoda of the comedy scene.
Oh, nice.
So I just happened to bump into him at a comedy show one day, and he was like, hey, I didn't know you were a comedian. I was like, I didn't know you were a comedian.
Right.
And then we had that conversation, and then we would just chat, and it was just like being able to sit at the feet of any master,
yeah,
just have him drop jewels on you and be like, you might look at it like this, look at it like that. And I mean, I'd be out mowing my lawn and we'd be 4-hour comedy conversation. So that, being able to learning how to stack material and stack jokes and put things in story form and book form and stuff like that. I was a little quicker than most, but to me it's about the same thing. It still takes about 9 to 10 years to get it, to get confident with it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I know what I want to say. Now, how do I present it? And can I present it in a way that people accept it?
Yeah.
So that's the goal now, to take it out. And, if it plays here, does it play in Peoria?
Yeah. Does it? Do you find that it does?
Yeah, I've been all right. I've had, even my misses have been pretty good. Like, I performed once at a hostel for Eastern Europeans. And you already know. So it was that kind of conversation that we had, like, and I was like, oh, man. And I was like, well, and I made the mistake of saying, you know how your man Hitler did. Like that's your boy. And they was like, that's not that boy. They hate that boy.
That ain't our boy.
You know what I mean? So they, that was that moment, which is awkward, but we made it work and made it funny. And that's the beauty of being a comedian as opposed to like being a speaker or storyteller or something. We can relish in our mistakes. We can be like, can I curse?
Yeah.
I just fucked that up.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
Yeah.
So if it's funny, and people are laughing and they leave feeling good. I mean, if we can drop a jewel on them, that's great. But if they are laughing, that's the most important thing. They're supposed to feel good at the end of the day.
So then I will continue with this question that I ask all my comedian guests.
Yes.
Do all laughs matter?
All laughs matter than that. Some laughs you won't, some laughs you don't want.
Right.
I mean, that's just true. Because if somebody's agreeing with you about something that is really, and if you know you're being, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like Mad Magazine, if you're parodying something. Like a lot of times I say stuff from a point of view that I know is awkward. And I'm like, white man, you laugh a little bit too hard at that one.
Right.
That's the kind of joke I know you tell when we're not around.
Right.
But I can tell it. I'm not saying you can't laugh at it.
Right.
I'm just saying check that you're laughing at it.
I see you.
And, we having that moment, like, again, in Madison, we had the day it was cop week. A bunch of cops walked in. And it was like, okay, how do I entertain officers in the midst of Black Lives Matter?
Right.
And all of that being, we're all aware of that. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, Black Lives Matter, okay, our lives matter. And then let's be honest, I know y'all said more than once, Black Lives Matter on this block too. And they started laughing. I was like, see, we get it.
Right.
So we're on the same page. Let's not let what's going on, that's the beauty of comedy. Let's not let what's going on outside divide us inside.
Yeah.
And our job is to help make it funny. That's it. A lot of times I think folks get caught up in, even self-included, because I get what people call preachy, because that's where my opinion comes out. Being comedians, they don't allow us to have focused opinions. They really don't. You know, only when you get to unfocused opinions, I should say. When you get to those levels where people are drawn to see you, when they start coming to see you, that's when they want to know what you think.
Yeah.
You know, before that, people don't really care what you think. They just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And if they find out that you think in the process, that is what I think is attractive. You know what I mean? That's what I know I'm attracted to another comic. I'm like, okay, I want to hear more what that person has to say. Funny or not, I want to hear what they have to say. So when I'm listening, when I used to be listening to Patrice O'Neal or Bill Burr or Chappelle now, or you know, you want to hear those thoughts on certain things, or Wanda Sykes or something like that. Well, what does she have to say about this? And then that's when, comedians are the people. To me, when it comes to entertainment, we are. I don't want to say. We're the workers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're the folks that, our audience is right there. We're not separated from our audience. People who do movies and actors, even people in plays, they get time to practice. We have to practice in front of our audience.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. You know what I mean? And then that's how we make our audience.
Yeah.
When they go, I remember when you wasn't like that. They follow us just like they follow rock stars and stuff. But then that's what makes comedy endearing. And
I asked you this question before. Like when you're on stage and you're saying like the N-word, like I said the N-word, when you're saying nigga on stage, you know, how do you find that you need to censor yourself, or do you even consider that your words may be offensive, or is that something that you're not even?
No, I'm aware. You cannot not be aware. Every word matters. That's what we do. It's like a book. So it tells a story. Every word tells a story. So when I drop certain words, that tells a story of who I am. And I've had those moments where other people have been offended and been like, I just think we all are the same and get along. That's great. That's great. It's a word that I do use in my personal life. So now if I use it in my personal life, and that stage for however long I'm on it is my personal space, then I have to be true to who I am and become that artist that I am. That's the artist and the entertainer. There are moments where I do entertain and censor myself and don't use it. Most recently I did a veteran show, right? So now if I'm at a veteran show and I have a joke where I call my kid, because I say that he doesn't know who Harry Tubman is. I say in the joke, I say that he thinks that Harry Tubman is the first black metro driver. And I'm like, that's not the Underground Railroad we were talking about. I was like, ooh, you nigga. I have to say it like that.
Yeah.
But then white folks get it and they laugh and they're like, oh, he's saying, not what we say, but
you a nigga.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on now.
You need to know.
But I'm saying that to say, my goal is not to offend anyone. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
But if one white person is offended and find themselves uncomfortable in their own skin by words that I use, then my job is done as a human being, because 90% of my life is spent that way.
Yeah.
Being uncomfortable in I shouldn't say that. I'm not
making others uncomfortable.
So others are uncomfortable with me sometimes in the room even.
Yeah.
You know, I work in corporate America. I work around people all day long where I go, wow, I know, I can see the look on their face. How did this nigga get in here?
Yeah.
So when I work with all of that, I can't ignore that.
Yeah.
But I also can't ignore that, and I'm not a hip hop, I'm a hip hop head, but I'm not one that says, well, we took that word back, and we did this, that, and the third, and it used to be this, and it used to be that. Well, it was a word that meant royalty at one point. That's at the end of the day, that's it. And
was it now? I need you to tell me that.
It's a word that meant royalty. If you look up the word negus, which is Negus, which is Aramaic.
Negus.
Yes. So that's the original language. That's the language of Jesus. So you got kings and whatnot, right? Who were actually some of the first folks that were captured and put on slave ships, because those chiefs in those areas couldn't deal with these folks. So now you're sitting on the slave ship and you're going negus, now saying who you are. But negar is also a term for black. So when the Portuguese are actually exporting black folks, what words do they use when they call us black? They call us negars. So now you're talking to an Englishman, you say negars, you hear this nigga say negus. All of a sudden, yeah, niggas, whatever it is, just get your ass on that ship.
Negar, negus,
it doesn't really matter. Exactly. So yeah, we got you. You got all these niggas, and then it becomes a word that's bastardized. People just knew at some point, hey, if you go through those gates, you ain't never coming back.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You don't have all that time to explain in a comedy show.
Right.
You just have time to use it.
My history.
And people go, well, then why does he use it that way?
Right.
I'm a hip hop head, and I use it as I see fit.
Yeah.
And it's a word that I'm allowed to use. And guess what? I also understand the word abracadabra, that words have magic. I use it in a way sometimes where I might want a volatile thought in your head.
Yeah.
Because something's coming behind that to help you explain my thought process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I love it.
That's what comedy also is. It's two violent interactions happen. It's a violent interaction and your brain is processing something and your body reacts.
Yeah.
And you laugh uncontrollably. That's an uncontrollable thing. It's a sixth sense. It's a sense of humor. And if you don't have no sense of humor, don't talk to me about the word nigga.
Right.
It's just that simple. Because if you can't see the joke and making people feel lesser than because of who they are, then I'm sorry, you don't get the joke of racism.
I think the joke is in the word nagoose. I think there's a joke there. And nagar. And the word nagardly.
Nagar. Or like an all-white feeling nagardly. Feeling nagardly. You know what? I like that. That's a book.
See? Nagardly.
Okay. I mean, you
Okay.
ever read that book? It's called From Niggas to Gods, and it's all about, your thought process. We were never niggas. They said it to us in school days. You're not niggas. But if you think you are, then they already won.
But see, like Sean, that's my nigga right there.
There it is. We understand what it means, and that's that. Remember the shirts we used to wear? It's a black thing. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to understand. It's our culture. I don't go around asking what a guma mean. I'm not Italian.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't ask you what's the word in Spanish? Primo.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my cuz. I get it. Everybody got words they use to denote, hey, this is my man's. This is my man's in there. Get away from me. Sorry, God gave it back to me.
I thought our
Black
language
God.
was Ebonics.
I wish Ebonics was a language because then Siri would understand what the fuck I'm saying. I'd be like, Siri, turn it left. She's like, you want chicken? I'm like, I understand. I understand, Siri.
Racist ass.
You know, Siri's a bomb. Siri's, man, listen, let me say some stuff. I'll be like, turn it off. Turn it off. And she's like, turn one on. And I'm like,
Siri's a bitch.
Watermelon?
Oh, Lord.
I
Words of
propose
magic.
that we write a petition to Apple to get some black voices.
Oh, Lord. It better be Idris Elba. And James Earl Jones. Those are the only black ones. I don't want Morgan Freeman.
Samuel Jackson?
Right.
I know you'll be missing that.
That would be funny though, Samuel Jackson. I told you, motherfucker.
I told you to turn right.
Sam. You be like, instead of Siri, you be like, Sam, play Jay-Z. You don't want to hear that nigga right there.
You're supposed to be quiet.
You know the new 11.3. What does it do? It doesn't do anything while you're driving, right?
Yes.
So man, so when you're driving, you can't change shit. You can talk to Siri though, but Siri's like, you should be driving.
Right. Focus on the road, bitch.
Focus on the road, man. And it's gotta have that no one. It's gotta have that. Cause see, imagine how you would look at how we do that word.
Just, it's just got
But there's
some
something-
power behind it.
Hey.
So I propose we also maybe have some more historical people. Like Harriet Tubman.
Oh, Siri?
Emojis?
No, like
You don't want no Harriet Tubman emojis. You ever see a picture of Harriet Tubman? If anybody she always look angry. There was not one picture of her smiling. That many pictures of her. You ever see a smiling picture of Freddie Tubman?
No.
He's always throwing and shit like
yeah,
that.
because he like if I smile they think I'm happy and then they're gonna give me this
Like,
shit.
you ever have, like, this motherfucker, Martin Luther King, there's one picture of him laughing.
No.
One picture of
And
smiling.
that's why it's right before he got shot. Like
Right before he got shot, that's when he got his dick sucked. And they told him he gonna tell Coretta. He was like, no, you not.
we gonna tell Coretta.
Malcolm was always smiling because he knew what was up. Malcolm had that
He was
smile.
happy. He had the Nation of Islam.
Hey, we got FOI.
Okay, I'll be smiling
You
too.
know what? You ever watch Boardwalk Empire?
Yes.
All right. There was one line in Boardwalk Empire that came out. It was when the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover and them, right? They had infiltrated Harlem. And they were also trying to infiltrate organized crime. They knew it was beginning. And they were like, fuck Michael Thompson and them. They really said, our bigger problem is Marcus Garvey and those 300 niggas with one thought in their head. They said 300,000 niggas with one thought, that's a problem.
Damn. That's why we so confused. They be putting Future in our minds.
Imagine
Cardi B.
300,000 black folks with one desire to get free. Of what? Now, that's what they don't want us to know. So that's when they say, oh, N-word this and what about this? It's all fucking distraction.
From the
you can't play that game. It's all
objective.
distraction. This ain't even, please, I'm not even speaking my language, so you're not even talking to me about reality.
Right.
That's my thoughts to wrap it up on the N-word. So when you speak of me, say that nigga there, TNT. I know it's TNT. I know how to play with bombs though. I know how to defuse and create them.
Good to know.
When I stopped using it, the terrorists had won. And I'm talking about the terrorists that is KKK and the Klan and them Invisible Army motherfuckers.
The Invisible Army.
Yeah, the
Okay.
supremacists that think that we did.
So your career as a comedian
I
is...
talk about funny stuff.
I'm like...
That's my opinion. The opinions of Haywood Turnipseed Jr.
do not fully represent.
They do not represent the Super Puppy podcast. That's all. Unless you're talking about Black Lives.
Right.
Black,
Then
Black
we all
Lives
together.
Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Because they do laughs. Black laughs matter. Speaking of laughs,
Yes, ma'am.
do you remember the very first time you did comedy?
Yes, I do.
Where?
Kurt Shackelford, Topaz.
Oh yes, me too.
Hey, we frack.
No, that was our little spot. He would
Yeah.
give you a DVD.
Yes, you would. You get a DVD. I got a hot DVD of my performance.
Love him too.
I mean, this is one of those shows where I will eventually work with people who are on television.
Yeah, the
And
homies.
these were all like, at the time, they were like probably sophomores and juniors. Aaron Jackson was on the
Yes,
show.
Aaron Jackson,
So these
yes.
are all people who are like, doing big things in comedy.
Yep.
And
still doing, yep.
And still,
winning, yeah.
at the time, it was just like, that was my first show. I said it to say it was 3 hot minutes. And unlike other things that you do, it's like drugs. Unlike other things you do the first time, that, they get better as you go along. Comedy, you never get that vibe. It's like doing drugs. I never got that high as I was that first time hearing those first laughs at things that I just thought.
Yeah.
When people were reacting to things, and I told a joke about Superman. I told a joke about at the time, Superman was out. It was the Superman Resurrected or something like that. Whatever. Superman Returns. Superman Returns was out. And the movie, if you've ever seen Superman Returns, he had a son. And his son had asthma. And I did a joke about his son having asthma. I was like, wait, why would his son have asthma? And then his son get his powers underwater. Right there, Superman should have been like, when was you fucking with Aquaman?
Right. How you get that?
Yeah, and I did a joke about Batman. How does he go online and find a ward? And like these days, you gotta go online and find a ward. So imagine Batman show up at there was a show that used to come on where he used to catch those dudes with molestations.
To catch a predator.
To catch a predator. So Batman wants him to catch a predator. And then the dude is sitting there like, wait a minute, hey, that is a Batmobile, right? This is your email address, BruceWayne@Batcave.com. You talking about you looking for a nice, athletic, 12-year-old boy to play. This is not you. This is you, right, billionaire Bruce Wayne?
Right, nigga.
And this motherfucker's like, this nigga here.
Got all that shit.
I was like, so the whole thing was about superheroes living in the real world. And it actually went over well. I should probably revisit some of those jokes.
Yeah, straight up.
And then I remember the rest of it was just riffing on the fact that people were laughing at those jokes. And I was like, okay, and my name is Haywood Turnipseed Jr. Good night. I was like, that's probably the biggest joke you've ever heard. And then they were like, why is that a big joke? And I was like, because my father named me after him and left.
I love that room.
So yeah, Topaz, man, it was great. And I was home for till Kurt kicked. I didn't hear kick me out. He was like, go on and do something else, which is cool. And it's like, when other people tell you to go do other things, that's when you know you got something.
Yeah.
You should go here. You should start trying other rooms. Because you don't want to get comfortable as a comedian because your life isn't comfortable. That's what made us comedians.
Yeah.
Comedy is our sense of humor, but it's our shield against the universe. Mm-hmm. So when you start getting comfortable, you start losing your sense of humor because that's what you have up to defend you.
That's funny. That's what Rollo was talking about that too. He was saying that when he's in a relationship, he just don't feel as funny. But that makes sense because he's probably comfortable in that boot tank.
Because Rollo is a young single man who wants to be. And then at the same time, you can see, comedy, when comedy writes, especially on the black scene, I don't know about the white scene, and I said it to say there's a difference between mainstream and urban. This is what they call it these days. Mm-hmm. For us, we approach it as an event.
Yeah.
We go to comedy shows, it's like going to church.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
I just went to see Chappelle and it was weird to see that mix. I never see that mix that often anymore because at some point comedians go right or left.
Yeah.
Their audience tends to start looking more like them. Mm-hmm. So even Chris Rock's audience, it's skews just as tad bit older. It would be the Run DMC crowd as opposed to the Rakim, Big Daddy Kane crowd.
Uh-huh.
They still dig hip hop, but they came up on Run DMC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they just have a different approach to things.
Yeah.
They're that first generation constantly right. So they still like, you gotta go and be like, I just wish them niggas had on Jordans.
I love it.
Yeezys. Jeans. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can do that. You know, you can do what you can.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I understand when I'm at certain events and I'm doing certain things, that's black tie. But I like when I see Chappelle somewhere with no tie on. That's what it's like. That's what the rap guys used to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were the cool dudes. You don't want to be with the dude that's stuffy. The one that's gonna make you laugh is the one that looks like they're gonna make you laugh.
Yeah, right.
Let's just be honest about this. It ain't the one that you be like, hey, that guy looks like a doctor. Seinfeld looks like a doctor to me. He's funny to me.
Right.
He looks like a doctor. When you see him in Top 5 and he's got his tie off and in the strip club and he's just talking shit, That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like, I didn't know Jerry was like that, but that's what I say, you have different scenes. So I'm talking about Rollo. You got somebody like Rollo, you know, he know. I mean, he gonna get top quality tail for a long time.
all that cocoa butter.
Yeah, so when you're in a relationship, that goes out the door.
You're like,
You know what I mean? Unless you're polyamorous or something, and then you gotta explain that.
so where do you see, like, what do you see for yourself moving forward?
More spreading my wings a little more, like getting out. Like I've done different cities, of course, done New York, done Atlanta, and a few places up and down the East Coast. But just getting out more, doing Chicago, doing LA, going international. I've had some offers before to come, I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Now that I've actually been doing longer sets, I feel that I can fill a 20, 30-minute window.
Yeah.
I don't want to go for 5 to 10 minutes, unless it's, somebody's asking you to come perform for something certain. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But to go and hey, you can do a guest spot and all this kind of stuff, we can do all of those kind of audiences here. Everything you will find in the world is here. You can go down Woodbridge or Fredericksburg and find that rural audience that's totally different from the urban audience that you will find in Peoria.
Yeah.
You can go, you got DC, you got Baltimore, 2 different types of black folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go out PG County, Charles County, a whole another type of black folks.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have a whole other type of folk out there in general in Charles County because you get that mix also. So then you have, in this area, you can get to West Virginia and all these different places. So it made sense to me to work out in all of these rooms, just like a ball player. Work on all of these different venues and put it all together. Yeah. So now that now that I have an act, I'm ready to show it. So
that's what's up.
Touring the art and let folks come witness the exhibit and get booked on some feature spots. Hopefully, good Lord willing, creep no rise, and make that happen. My goal in the next 2 years is to do an album.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I can have something out there that's solid, so that when I do hit, there's something already ready where you go, oh, we should have heard this. Because it's only going to make you write more stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully do better. It's just pushing. It's like when you work out. You don't want to plateau. When you get to a plateau, you go to a new one. So I read this book called From Peak to Peak. Sometimes you climb mountains to get a good vision on what you really want to do.
Oh, okay.
So when you're up top, you're like, oh, okay, but there's another mountain over there, so you got to get down there.
Right, go back up. I love it. Peak to peak. See, he's a smart brother, too.
Hey, I didn't say that. I just said that.
Okay, so we're gonna change gears.
White folks, I'm smart.
We're gonna switch gears a little bit. I read something. We talk about being black a lot here on this show, but I don't want to isolate us as being just that way. But I am a black woman, so I have to lead with that. Okay? Last Sunday, some things happened that everyone's up in arms about.
Up in arms.
Up in arms. And my good friend / super puppy partner, DJ LB, informed me that standing for the national anthem is a new thing.
Very good.
Like 2008? 2009.
Only when the military gave money to the NFL did it become a thing that they actually started requiring players to do.
So now it's making a little more sense to a non-sport person like myself.
Right. NFL paid money. But the military paid money. And they're like, hey, we want to see how money go to work.
Right.
That's all. The military's an organization just like anything else. That's all it is. That's what you see. Remember doing the Persia Go For It, the initial one they had Whitney Houston to sing the national anthem and it became the #1 song all over again, about to fly over. Those things make people feel patriotic and that they should serve. Remember, we live in a society now that is all volunteer military, but the folks that go in tend to be the poor folks in America. So then what they're saying is these people consider themselves different from you, whether they're athletes or not. And that's what they're creating, a rich versus poor thing, us versus them thing. This is where that whole son of a bitch comment comes into play. But then that person is just like me if I can call him a son of a bitch.
Right.
He's not rich. He's not athletic. He's not anything different from you. So he should be standing just like you stand. Although when you're in the military, it's not a requirement unless you're on a base.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because if you're at war, there is no national anthem being played.
Right.
Because they don't want the enemy to know where they are. Why would they? So there's all that deceit. So all that stuff is stuff that you do on U.S. bases. And they do it on foreign soil, on military bases on foreign soil, revelry in the morning, taps at night. You do have when you got certain events where you have I forget what it's called, where a person has to go out and bring the flag down and all that kind of stuff, raising the flag, lowering the flag. But they have honor guards for those things. They have people who are specifically designed to do those things.
They have flag codes.
Yeah.
And apparently everyone's just respecting the flag because you're not supposed to have anything that's like garments. You're not supposed to wear garments.
Yeah, shirts, all that kind of stuff.
You're not supposed to, when they go on the field and they put the flag out, you're not supposed to have it flat. You're actually supposed to have it waving. So they're disrespecting the flag.
In other ways.
Oh yeah, all across the board.
But yet it's like someone kneels, not saying they're disrespecting the flag, they're just talking about something else. It's like, oh, it's not American. I'm gonna burn my season tickets.
Yeah, because you should know your place.
Yeah.
Remember this, even if it's not black and white, I paid money to come see you, boy. Mm-hmm. That's all it boils down to. I don't care who we talking about. I paid money to be entertained. This is the problem with what happens in the entertainment business. People think they own you because they own a piece of you.
Yeah.
Not even a piece of you, they own your art.
Yeah.
So now they say, hey, I've seen it over and over again. You be out and somebody be like, can I get a picture? And somebody may say no. People be like, but I watch your show all the time. Right. I do this all the time. So I do that. That's great. So then you don't need a picture.
Right. Go back to that rerun you were just watching.
What's the picture for? And not saying that people don't want to take pictures, but sometimes people may be out with their families or at a certain thing. You may catch somebody just leaving a funeral.
Yeah.
You never know. But then that's that moment where you see them, and then you go, I got to do what I got to do. This is where celebrity comes into play. And we forget it's entertainment. Not we, society in and of itself forgets that it's entertainment. I'm entertained by a lot of things. This is why I can listen to an R. Kelly album and separate the man.
Ooh.
He's nuts.
A lot of people cannot.
Marvin Gaye was just as nuts. When you found out, imagine if we had TMZ in the days of Chuck Berry.
Oh my God.
I mean, seriously, imagine if we had this shit when Kennedy was around. Would he have been president that long? He fucked his neighbor.
Right.
He did shit like, it was like, wait a minute, the lady from Virginia who just had to be working for you?
Right. He's like,
He just saw her at a party. He was like, I got that. Come on, that's the most Solomon. It was David and Bathsheba. I just got to have that right there.
I got to have it.
Who is that right there? Who she married to? What?
So
I lived in Ireland for a couple years.
Right.
I say that to say we live in a society now, and this is based on like early radio. I forget the guy's name. I want to call him Walt Winchell for some reason. That might be the name. But anyway, he was a guy who actually started making, talking like the tabloids. And it was tabloid radio. That's what was interesting. These are what these celebrities are doing when they're not in the movies.
Right.
So we started finding out who's sleeping with who. People, oh my God, because I want to know about their life. But then what is that keeping you from doing? Living yours.
Right.
Me, I go to the movies, I'm entertained. It's just like a piece of art. Then I go out and live my life. Some people go to the movies and they are influenced by it so much.
And absorb all of the facts, yeah.
And that's what they want to be. Some people have watched the autobiography of Malcolm X and not read the book, the autobiography of Malcolm X, and don't realize that the movie's not called the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Right.
It's called X. So there's a few liberties in there.
Yeah.
Like there's no Brother Banks. Like when Brother Banks said, that brain doesn't exist, so who are we talking about?
Right.
And we talk about the movie, I get that. But look how powerful movies influence people. The Egyptians knew that way back in the goddamn day. This is why they put pictures on the wall. Pictures influence people a lot more than words do. I can give you words, but if you don't take time to understand what the meaning behind the words, you'll never understand truly what that picture's saying, because a picture is worth what? 1,000 fucking words.
One picture is worth 1,000 words.
At Woody C, WOODYSEED. Also at Attack of the Comics. That's the our club name. That's the name for our show. So you can stay in touch with the show. You can stay in touch with me. I actually have pictures of my family.
Yay!
Put pictures of my shows up, pictures of my friends and whatnot. And it's
all
I
those
don't say
words
it out loud, but because a couple kids told me, I was tweeting at the same time. That's my Twitter handle also. And I was like, they were like, don't tweet. And I was like, what? They was like, nigga, pictures. Hieroglyphs. And they said it was hieroglyphs.
All right.
That's what Instagram is. They were like, we can see it.
Okay,
it's
so
better than reading it.
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
I found an article that was written for the National Catholic Register.
Oh, this is in line with the flag.
Yes. The 10 reasons kneeling during the anthem is a bad idea.
Let's just start with the first one is because the priest might be there.
Stop it.
They should be telling nobody nothing.
Wait, the first sentence of this article says,
Yes.
Rosa Parks was a hero.
You gotta finish that.
On December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, Parks refused to give up her seat.
Oh,
in the
eventually.
color section to a white passenger.
Yeah, she did.
The resulting Montgomery bus boycott changed things and made this country a better place. That was a productive protest. Okay?
I met Rosa Parks once. You know what she said to me?
What?
Excuse me, you in my seat.
Shut up. And I fell for it like a goofy. I'm like, what she say?
She's from Detroit. She got pistols and shit.
Last Sunday, a very different protest took place when more than 100 NFL players knelt during the singing of America's national anthem. I see nothing productive about it. It was 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick who started the trend last year to protest police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, this article has come up with 10 reasons why kneeling is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Number 1, you don't get respect by showing disrespect.
That's true. I mean, that's the old-fashioned thing, unless it's not true. And it's not true.
Right.
Because they show disrespect when they sit at their counter.
Right. It's so much disrespect. It's just not true.
Yeah, so, I mean...
We're being disrespected daily.
Daily.
Okay?
Daily.
Second.
Just every time I have to look and see at Washington Monument, knowing that's an obelisk now, they never teach us that in school.
Right.
And
So
they
this...
teach us that an obelisk is Egyptian, and that's where, African history comes from. They never teach us anything about ourselves, which is total disrespect. But yet, I'm supposed to respect a culture and a society that doesn't respect me. This is what I was dealing.
So this
there is a lack
statement
of
number 1 is not showing respect for the black
lives
community.
only matter during fantasy football season.
Okay, so to number 1, I say Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but they won't. They don't understand that. They don't understand. They want to say all lives matter. It took me a minute. I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard Black Lives Matter, I was like, yeah, all lives matter. And then I was like, oh shit. I just said this is when it happened. As soon as I said it, when I first started saying the handle, Black Lives Matter, I was like, yeah, all lives matter. And I was like, wait a minute, they're saying something.
Right.
I was like, because over and over, just to us, our own lives don't matter. We'll put ourselves on the back burner because that's what was done to us.
Wow. You got to kill that white person inside of you.
Hey.
That's what Dr. Umar said.
Hey, it's there. It's there.
Number 2.
If you think anybody's doing anything wrong because of the color of their skin, there's something wrong with you.
Number 2. Disrespecting our country inflames racial tensions rather than moving towards harmony.
So does killing youth.
So does killing black people, unarmed blacks.
Here's the thing. You know what? All right. Last year, the Rush report it shows a running tally of how many people in America are killed by police officers. It was 990. There's a study done, and disproportionately, in urban cities, black folks are killed at a higher rate. If you factor in the police force, the size of the police force, and the per capita and all that kind of thing. So when you say like, hey, this area has such money per capita, it means, okay, this area has more money than that area because of the amount of people that live there and the type of people that they are. So when you factor in that a lot of people come from outside of urban cities to police these urban cities, it's more like a zoo than it is actually a police presence. Police are supposed to protect and serve. These guys actually enforce and rule. They are the first line of defense. But now, because the system is so corrupt, they have taken it upon themselves to be not just a hero, but judge, jury, and executioner. It doesn't get beyond that. But if you can kill black people, trust me, you can kill anyone. And it goes back to slavery. If you enslave people, you can enslave anyone. And it shows over and over and over again. This is what the prison system is. The prison industrial complex is a system that actually is legalized slavery. It's stated right there in the amendment. Slavery will be outlawed unless it is for, and I forget the actual terminology, but unless committed crimes and now you serve that state or that federal government. So we still have free labor. I'm saying all of this to say the people that are being killed, soldiers that come home who have PTSD and certain dementias and whatnot. You have people who are mentally challenged. You have black people. You have people on a regular basis who are considered, just like this president did, or just like in certain times, lesser thans. People who we don't need to have around anyway because they're mentally unstable, so to us as society, or because they're physically not able to us as a society, or because they just don't belong or should know better. You know, people Hitler interned first before he actually interned Jews. It was black folks. It was the black folks in Germany. Oh yeah. So this is what a lot of things are tried on black people, because if you can do it to them, I've proven you can do it to humans, it's already now become a mindset. And everybody else should just get in line. So now you have people getting in line, standing for the flag, protesting the flag, protesting the protesters.
Protesting the protesters.
Which is like, okay, that's great. But do you enjoy this game? If you enjoy this game, then what you really want to understand is the NFL is a nonprofit. How does that happen? Because I give them how much money?
Yeah.
So when it comes to protest, I'm of the ilk. I've never been. I do love the game of football. I play football, but I've never been an NFL guy. Anyway, there's Canadian football.
Me either.
There's USA football. My kids now, these are 6-year-olds. I'm teaching them how to tackle so that they don't leave with their heads and get those CTE things.
Right.
People taught us. I was taught by folks who taught us that you could get those headaches. You can get these things that can cause detriment in your future. So don't go for it like that. Use your head. We were taught that football was a game of chess, not a game of checkers. So we were taught by people to play for the long game. Because it's a stop-start game. Stop, start, stop, start. And everything you need is all around you. The inches, the yards, the touchdowns, the tackles. You get those breaks and all those things. So when I look at it as a metaphor for life, I don't necessarily go, okay, the NFL, that's it played on a high level. But if it can send a kid to college, why not?
Yeah.
Just like tennis, or just like golf, or just like track and field, or any other sport that you want to use to get to school these days is important. And as that becomes more and more privatized, why not get yourself in a place that you can benefit and the school can benefit? But that's becoming a part of something that's bigger than yourself. NFL is a part of America, but is America part of the NFL?
Okay. That's a good question. Here we go. There's peer pressure being put on NFL players to take sides during an activity that should unite them and their fans.
Yeah, that pressure was put on by the NFL next year. Okay, now what we're going to start doing is having y'all come out because the armed forces are giving us money.
Right.
So now we're going to start doing these things before
games.
games.
Stand that ass up.
This is all part of the NFL Players Association. This is why they were boycotting a couple years ago. They were like, there were a lot of things. They were like, we don't want to play extra games during the preseason. We don't want to play those extra games during the year. Those folks don't want to play 16 games.
Yeah.
They want to add 2 extra games. They're like, these are their bodies they're talking about.
We're human beings.
Player, I don't say the college football player, but the football player, the average football player plays 3 years.
Yeah.
That's it. At that high level. That's all your body can stand.
Damn.
So now when we're talking about guys who play these long careers, you're like, well, wait a minute. How do these dudes play? Watch. They don't play during the preseason, but they don't play in games. It's not like in the NBA. I'm sitting the dude now.
Yeah.
Because look at what LeBron and them do. They're like, listen, if my body's on the line, then I'm going to get that
chilling, right. But they will sit out if they have to.
Because the body's on the line. Why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
That's not smart. Well, back in the day, this guy just did. No, he did not.
Yeah.
But he also stopped groceries.
Right.
Right, okay. And wrestled in the off season.
Number 4. Studies show there is racial stereotyping even among minorities beyond the criminal justice system. The protest does not address the real problem.
It did. So you can't say that's where it started. It started with the disparity in America. It started with a young man. He was waking up to his own reality saying, hey, I can't do this. Now, let's be honest. I understand that the NFL is a show. It is one of the greatest television shows that have ever been on television. It's been on for over 30 years. Monday nights, Sundays.
Now Thursdays.
Yeah, the characters always change, but the teams remain the same. So you can root for your team, but the characters change, the storylines change, but so there's all these differences now. So I'm not above the NFL saying, all right, Cap, we need you to do this. I'm not above that.
Yeah.
I'm not above that thought process. I don't know if he did it or if the NFL did it or any of that. But it did address the situation and we're going, hey, okay. He lives in the Bay Area where you also had that young man, what's that, Fruitvale Station, that movie, who was killed out there just by a police officer because he was shot because the police didn't know what to do. He was handcuffed.
Right.
So now you have somebody waking up, and I understand that his girlfriend was a part of Black Lives Matter and actually was telling him, okay, you have this platform that you should utilize. A lot of people say you shouldn't use sports for politics. Well, how did you forget Muhammad Ali? Yep. Did you forget the Olympics with Tommy Smith and Warren Carlos? Do you forget the white man, when he moved back to his country, was completely shunned because he actually stood up there. They told him, you don't have to stand up there. He stood up there with the guys, didn't do anything, just stole it. There's a movie by him where he didn't even run anymore in Australia. He was written out of Australian history books until recently. So there are a lot of times where politics and society and reality collide. Not politics, sports, and reality collide. And we get to see that on that huge field. We would not know about the civil rights movement if it wasn't for television. But if it wasn't for sports stars like Bill Russell saying, oh, this is what's happening. If it wasn't for stars like Jim Brown saying, this is what's happening. If it wasn't for athletes and stuff like that, but if you find out this Jackie Robinson's and whatnot, well, this was also going on.
Right.
You know? So these things that have been, that is the perfect place. You know, that is the perfect place to have a voice being heard. People forget about the early 90s, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who did it. You know, what was his name before he changed? Chris Johnson, who played for the Denver Nuggets. He was drummed out of the NFL. Craig Hodges, who actually was also a Muslim man, when he went to see President Bush, he actually gave Bush a letter about, hey, this is the stuff that I see going on my side of Chicago. We play outside of the state, and this project's right across the street. The disparity is ridiculous. This is what I think we could do. That nigga got drummed out of basketball.
Okay, you think so?
He was the NBA champion. 3-point champion. He had played the next year with no team. They invited him back and they was like, there's no way you cannot have him here. He's the champion and won again.
That's why protest is bad, because you need to shut the fuck up.
And at the same time, though, here's the thing, though. Why do politicians always get athletes to come to their events and endorse them?
Okay.
If they shouldn't be intertwined.
Yeah. I love this. Thank you for sharing your mind, because I can't even begin. Okay? Number 5, sports stars have a great life, so why show contempt toward a country that makes it possible? That gets into that you should be happy and shut up.
Just I got mine to go when you get yours to come on. That's
that
mentality.
Yes.
And that's a lazy person mentality. And the fact that you have a group of athletes now who are like, and a lot of them didn't even stand up, and let's be honest, until the president himself said, fire these sons of bitches. You're fired. He was trying to rally his base, which we all know what they are. These tiki torch alt-right white walkers.
Okay.
They call them anything but that. And they whiter than the Republicans. The Republicans are the Lannisters. They just blonde hair, blue eyes, and incestual sex.
Snobs, right.
These other motherfuckers, they the walking dead. They actually still believe that Negroes
and if you have
Negroes
lived under a rock.
Like, that's your lead, Sean, because you know how to work the camera. You
okay,
can't
but
be married to me. I'm married to you. The only thing I got married to you is the fact that you's a nigga. That's all you got to do. This how the nigga mentality. That's what that's Ta-Nehisi Coates. That's what he wrote about. Well, at least I'm not a nigga. So now you have, they say, you live a good life. What is your problem? The fact that my name is Michael Bennett, and the fact that I'm living my so-called good life, and then I go into to Vegas to a fight, and I gotta get accosted and shot and thrown in there, and you've got the footage, and then I gotta play the game the next fucking day, and then you telling me I gotta be out here and not bend the knee the next fucking day? Oh, I want to hit somebody, best believe. I'm gonna go ahead and do my job. But you telling me how I gotta be the next fucking day? What's the dude? Marshawn Lynch. The only reason they didn't give him the ball is because, this is why I say it's a great fucking movie. Think about this. You got the ball on the one. You got a dude who's called the Beast, and he's your running back, and he got you there. And you don't give him the ball. But what is he not doing? Interviews. And you cannot have him as Super Bowl MVP when he's not doing fucking interviews.
Shit.
He would not say, I'm going to Disney World. He's not that nigga.
Wow.
The only nigga I know took off and he came back and still just as bad as he fucking was. Let's be honest about what the NFL is. Let's be honest. It's called not for long. It's called nigga for life. I'm not going to be here for long, and I'm not going to be your nigga for life, but I'm going to get this fucking $28 million contract.
Get that back.
I'm going to take $28 million and go do the fuck. He toured the goddamn world.
Yeah. Right.
What's the brother's name?
Yes, he should.
From he played for Philly and shit. I can't think of his name right now. But he has this whole thing where he does on Spike TV. It was like Man of the World. Like he goes all over the world and shit. Like he's an international.
Oh, he went to Michigan.
Yeah, Donnie Jones.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. Donnie Jones.
Well, he went to Michigan. Go Blue.
Okay. But he's one of those brothers who's like he's a Renaissance man.
He's a year younger.
Then you have Robert Smith, who's also like a doctor. Yeah. So you have brothers who are in the NFL who are not like just Michael Irvins. And there's nothing wrong with Michael Irvin. There's nothing wrong with people who play at that level and want to do that kind of thing. But you have it runs the gambit, and we never hear about those people who are authors, who are just
doing other shit.
Just doing other shit. You know, are artists and whatnot. I know NFL players. I know personally. Fucking LeVar Arrington is an artist.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Not just a fucking art like radio and stuff like that.
So like painting, drawing.
Dude is like a G. He's a genius. You know. when I say that level of G, it's like, damn, you got skills and other things.
No, we don't
and stuff
nothing
like that.
know nothing about.
But the NFL doesn't allow for that because it's a tough person sport. But as it grows and as it has its own channel, it is showing that. Well, the problem with America is the fact that we forget that it is a very young country in the grand scheme of things. And the fact that it is a very young country, it's a country it went through puberty. That was civil rights. You gotta change. This shit ain't right. But as you go older, you're like, oh, wait a minute. These are still some things that I've carried over from puberty that still don't exist. We have the opportunity, and Malcolm X said this over and over again, to have a bloodless revolution. That was bloodless revolution on the football field. Every goddamn Sunday and every Tuesday and Thursday, white folks are reminded how physically they may not be at a certain level. When they see the NBA, they go, okay, we're not at that level.
Right.
When they see the NFL, they go, we're not at that level. We see baseball, we go, hey, we're not just that lazy.
Right.
When they got the Hispanics coming in and the Dominicans, they like, they can change the game. This dude just hit 50 home runs. This motherfucker 6, 7, Puerto Ricans who they ain't got no racist bone in their body.
Yeah.
And it's not afraid of niggers.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you do me like that.
You're not gonna
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So you had your Jack Kemps back in the day who stood with folks like Louis Farrakhan and people didn't understand. Why you sending Farrakhan? Farrakhan's trying to change his own community. If we don't let these people change their community, then how the fuck are we? Who the fuck are we?
Yeah.
How do you stop people from wanting to do better?
Right.
But that's the Richard Nixon question. Because they didn't want people. Remember, 300,000 people with one thought in their goddamn head. It's a problem.
It's a problem. Okay, number 6. This protest actually separated like-minded people. This is a fail.
It is a like-minded people because you have people who don't have anything else but this fucking country. They don't consider themselves global citizens. If you see yourself as a global citizen, then you understand that the United Nations has already said that the United States owes black people reparations. They have given the goddamn Japanese reparations. Jewish people got reparations in the fact that it's a country called Israel. Black folks in America are the only people who were indentured or challenged who have not gotten reparations. And the fact that we've taken them through music, through entertainment, through sports, whatever it is you want to call it, and now you want to judge it. You're not like-minded. If you were like-minded, we wouldn't have these races because I don't sit at the dinner table with those folks.
Right.
You do. You don't invite me over to your house when your uncle comes over because you know who he is and how he is.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? But you also don't check your uncle when he's like, why are you watching all these niggas do all this?
Yeah. No one's checking their uncle.
So, I mean, Thanksgiving's going to be pretty interesting this year because if you call yourself my friend and you of that pale skin, then you need to be checking somebody. Especially if you think that me as a hip-hop head needs to make sure that it's a lot more uniform in the fact that women should be respected and it need to be respected and that there shouldn't be no homophobia. Because they quick to check black folks on our shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't say, well, hip-hop is this, that, and third. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It never was. That's what it's shown to you as. Just like there are not 1 million people in the NFL or 300 people in the NFL beating their wives. Those are a select few.
Yeah.
But you have people who have issues.
Yes.
And the fact that we don't address those issues as a society and try to blanket those issues and say, well, we should all do one thing. This ain't kumbaya.
Yeah.
It's not that.
No.
If we really want to make change and be a fucking global leader, then we have to admit that we have problems and that we are working through change.
And
that
working
is the
to
only constant.
change. Okay?
You know, and it's every problem. We might find out tomorrow. We haven't found out fucking fossil fuels don't work. Goddamn carbon don't work. Charcoal don't work. Come on, what else do we need to fucking find out?
Right. This motherfucker. Okay. Not a single person. Not a single person, behavior, or law is changed by football players refusing to stand for the anthem.
Ah, really? But that person had never heard of Bob Love, and they forgot about the antitrust laws and how the Major League Baseball was broke up because one man actually said, okay, I should be allowed to have my contract the way I want my contract. And then this is why we have free agency. I'm not a slave to this team. I could be a free agent. So they broke up the antitrust early in the 20s, and then he did it again in the 60s when he fought to become a free agent. He never played the goddamn game. But this is why we have free agency and have all that money now in sports, because if you're getting paid that much off of my talent, it's only because those ticket prices can go up because of my talent.
Exactly.
And if you're not going to give me a portion of those ticket sales, you're going to give me a portion of that income you got coming in from those TV sales or from those, what do you call it? Jersey sales, or sneaker sales, or whatever the fuck it is you do, or you get that piece of that money you got from them goddamn armed forces, that get handed out to the goddamn NFL Association. You dig what I'm saying? Madden make a lot of money off of Madden, so did the NBA, so did the NFL, and then the NFL Players Association said, you can't keep making this money and not making us money.
Yeah. How about that?
So when they say that like-minded people were separated a little bit while ago, I'm not true, because I know when the NFL Players Association got together before, I saw Peyton Manning and what's the dude's name? Jeff Saturday, and all these different minded people standing next to like DeMarco Ware and shit like this, and everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, it's all about this money.
Yeah.
And then when I saw this again this Sunday, going, wait a minute, you calling us all sons of bitches. That's what I like to see when I see sports again. Wait a minute, now this is a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and you don't get to do that like that.
Yeah.
Those athletes across the board. Why was it just that the WNBA was the first athletes to jump on board in the first goddamn place?
How about that?
You know, why's always women's got to be like, hey, this ain't right.
Right, and then they're like, it ain't.
I mean, women's the German troops you need. Goddamn, where's Christmas Adams?
Okay, here we go. It corrupts, number 8. It corrupts the usually fun and patriotic atmosphere before a football game. When has it ever been fun and patriotic?
Here's what it is. What's fun and patriotic is the fact that white folks are comfortable in their own environment, and they get to sit back and just enjoy life. They get to see black people run, and they like watching that. And it's very entertaining.
But how is it patriotic?
Oh, that's all we do here in America is own shit and talk about the shit we own. We own shit, we talk shit, and we don't do shit unless we have to. The beautiful part is that when we do shit, it's a bunch of us doing it. So other countries just haven't gotten united like we had. Mm-hmm. And I say we because even black folks, we fought for this country over and over and over. We didn't fight during World War II. Shit, that shit wasn't done.
Right.
Tuskegee helped that out. I'm saying that to say, and I understand. I'm not saying this in a negative way. People don't want to think about that stuff on the days off.
Right.
We have to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
No days off.
We don't get no days off.
Ain't no day, like, you ever heard this? Man, I don't even want to be black today.
You cannot.
I know my mother said that I don't even feel like being black today. Richard Pryor was one of the best jokes I've ever heard about it, because it's like, he said, because he never really told racial jokes.
Right.
He told jokes from his perspective, but then when he did get into race, he was like, man, you got two dudes working and there's an argument, and he's like, nigga. He's like, man, I gotta deal with this shit today? Like, it was just an argument.
Right.
Now it's this shit?
Right.
So, for them, it's something that comes up every now and again, and they're shocked. But black folks, if I equate it to Game of Thrones, we're like the people on the wall. We're like, this shit is out here.
Yeah, we know it's
We've
coming.
seen this shit. I'm telling you, it's out here. And they got tiki torches, and they don't give a fuck. And they cuss like me. They don't give a fuck.
I ain't got a motherfucking dragon like.
You know what I mean? A fire breathing. They call him Donald Trump. They got a fire breathing dragon now. They got somebody who can, that people, when David Duke said, we have won, and people didn't recognize that, they don't want to admit. I got friends, and I can't even call them friends anymore because I said, you're not my friend, you don't understand this. He's like, that's just one food. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's always just one.
You can see from Charlottesville that is because of.
But then they'll say those are just a few foods.
No.
But these are foods you know.
Yeah.
And they're your cousins and your brothers and your sisters and your mothers and your uncles and people that you have to deal with, and you don't want to face the fact that that is wrong. But you expect me to face the fact that that is wrong every day. So now I gotta
deal with it and be nice to your ass.
Exactly. But now I gotta lump you with them, so I'm gonna see through all that shit. I'm not God, and I'm not gonna even try to be that.
Right.
I can't see through that no more. Like people say, well, I didn't vote for that. I even know black people who voted for Trump, and they say that's because he frightens white folks. I get it, but to me, you're still in that category now. You weren't thinking about the greater good. Yeah. But at the end of the day, this is a bunch of bullshit. This is a bunch of malarkey. And now I and you and Sean and you, Courtney, we have to fight. The fight that our parents fought, that our grandparents. This is why my parents lived in Gary, Indiana, because it was just all black folks.
Right.
That
moved from Mississippi to Chicago.
You know what we had? If you didn't, it's like going to school, right? Especially for the folks who went to HBCUs. If you didn't got the money, then you in that group, Jack and Jill or other side, and that kind of shit.
Well,
that was all our thing. Like if you wasn't in society, then you know, okay, they're niggas. Right. I said that to say those are all only differences, but then everybody still went to the barbershop. Those are the problems of that integration gave us. The fact that we thought there was something better on the other side. Every time when slavery ended, the work went to black people. Mm-hmm. And when the work started going to black people, because they were the ones doing all the work, the carpentry, the housework, the cleaning. So now you're going to pay people to do it. Who better to do it than the people who've been doing it this whole time?
We mastered it.
Then they started fucking with us because now the black people are getting money and getting things. And getting things, you get confidence. And now you think you're better than me. And this is why they took out Oklahoma City and Rosewood and all these different areas and say, you can't have this. There were many black free cities. Yeah. Many. And the fact that we don't know of, we only hear of 3 or 4. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Is because this is the further, and that
you gotta bury that history, man.
Even this thing that you should just be, we have to live constantly under this shroud. this cloud. I don't want to call it fear because that phrase is, you're not afraid of what? I even believe in the fact that there are beings out there that live off of fear because there's something that's going, it's puppet master. And they say, hey, this is what it is and we got to do this and this is when you get into interdimensional and interspace shit. There are beings that live off of fear. There are things that live off of fear.
Oh, yes, true story.
You understand what I'm saying? So I said that to say, I can't give them my fear because this is what they told me. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. So there's one of the movies I like, it's called After Earth. With Will Smith, him and his son. And as I saw this as a movie, he was telling his son, okay, if you want to go and get into this life, which is entertainment, this is what you got to do. Now, he's explaining to his son everything that he did. It's a great movie. It was like, the only thing you need to be afraid of is you. Because they're going to throw everything at you that they can.
Yeah.
Every goddamn thing that they can.
I will say about that movie, though, they had some odd accents.
It was, a combination of the fact that everybody on Earth was all combined. It was some on Scientology shit.
I'm like, what?
It was some cause of Scientology. But the idea, the fact that, and this is the fear. The fear is the fact that these folks go, wait a minute, there's a part of society that I don't know.
Yeah.
And
the
average person doesn't want to think that there's nothing that they don't know because they're comfortable.
Yeah.
So because if there's something they don't know, then it can wake them up at any moment. But that's the world that we live in. We weren't, when it came to 9/11, black folks were just like, Now, don't get me wrong, we were like, hey, all right, okay, let's.
Scary, but
we were like, we weren't surprised.
Yeah.
They were shocked and awed. Who would do that?
Yeah.
Why? You never heard of this and that, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah.
You're always getting attacked.
I mean, come on now. Come on, but.
Okay, number 9. We got 2 more. You ready? Mm-hmm. It's a slap in the face to people who risk their lives for our country or lost loved ones doing so.
As a person who's done both, it's not.
It's not.
I was a member of the United States Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. Most of my service was spent at Burger King.
What the hell does that mean?
Because I ate food. I was stationed stateside. I was right here. So I didn't go off to war or involved in any skirmishes. At most to TDY here and there. At most to TDY to New York to get a truck. That's a temporary duty assignment. I say all that to say I do know people who have gone off to war and not come back from it. And they didn't go for those reasons. When you join the U.S. military, you take an oath, and it said that you will fight against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And our biggest enemy is ignorance. And I cannot ignore that fact, or I would be ignorant. So a lot of our enemies, our domestic enemies, are the ones who would say something like that, say that it's a slap in the face, because we live in a country that is actually applauded for its freedom of speech. Applauded for the fact that its people can protest, and when the people do protest, it's not Tiananmen Square. You know, it's not Russia.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Ukraine. You know, it's not one of those societies where, or Cambodia even. It's not one of those societies where people are pushed and shunned, or even China, where you hear about the Falun Gong and whatnot. You have other cultures and other countries where dissent is rewarded with death or internment camps. You know, here in this country, it's only they take your job away.
Yeah.
You know, but they took Muhammad Ali's job away. They took Colin Kaepernick's job away.
Right.
But a smart person can still earn a living, and we do live in. Actually, a really smart person can earn a living off of the fact that they become a dissident.
Yeah, they're taking your job away. You better make another job, nigga.
Yeah. So that is thanks to our military, which is the best military at present on the planet.
Right.
Now, that being said, they are that way because the people pay a lot of money for them to do so, and that's athletes included. And they pay for our military to be a military, and they also pay for the results, which are being able to protest. So again, if I'm taking a step back, like I didn't care one way or the other. People have asked me this whole time. I was just like, he ain't gonna be there that long. I knew it.
Right.
Because I seen him move up the roof. I saw it, so I was like, it's gonna end with him not being in the NFL. I wish I was not right about that.
Yeah, no,
but I do hope it ends in the documentary that they put on title or something, so I can have a reason to pay for it.
Yeah, right. Give him something.
Like Spike Lee made a documentary about this right now.
Yeah, he might be.
Because this just happened to him. It happened to Paul Robeson also. Paul Robeson was the man in the early 1920s, a great singer, who when he started actually talking about his rights as a black man in America, his passport was taken away, and he was labeled a communist, and they took the fact he went to Rutgers fucking University, and he was one of the first black men to play at Rutgers and was an all-American.
Damn.
And they striped that from him. I'm sorry, what's that?
And a straight A student.
Exactly. So now you label him this and that and the third, and then they had to restore the fact that he went to, like, they didn't take OJ's Heisman.
Well, OJ is OJ.
Right. What's the name?
He ain't black.
Yeah, right. I'm just OJ.
OJ made a lot of people a lot of money. That's why the niggas still living in the
OJ.
children.
That's what I'm gonna put. I'm gonna check other and put OJ.
It's gonna be out on Monday.
I've been checking others for years. People ask me why I check other on the census is because I am human. You're asking me if I'm black, if I'm white, if I'm an American citizen. I'm one of the few that actually has to say that they're human. And they said, what are you saying? Other. Human. If you want to label me, because you know the neighborhood I live in, it's mostly black, so you're going to treat it like it is. But you're trying to get a sense of the United States of America. How many humans do you have living here?
Okay.
Because that makes us a global citizen, and that also gives you sanction in the UN, which is why Trump wants to pull away from it. Don't be fooled by this goddamn, I'm an American, I'm a goddamn Republican, I'm a Democrat. I'm a human being who happens to be a Democratic voter.
I am an OJ. Okay, and I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
I'm an OJ, goddammit. Number 10.
I might need sanctuary one day, so I'm by the Catholic Church. Hey y'all.
We ain't hating.
At all. Catholic, you know what that word means? Universal.
Catholic?
That's all it means.
Okay. We've gotten to number 10.
Wait a minute, before we get to number 1.
Number 10.
What is it, number 10? Wasn't Jesus, was he the biggest protest on earth?
I mean, he was, and she's saying.
Didn't Jesus and Paul and them, didn't they protest the Roman governments?
Some protest is okay, because Rosa Parks was okay.
She was okay sitting down, but if she had took a knee, that'd have been too much.
It'd have been way too much. You know why? Number 10. There is no measurable successful outcome. That's a damn lie. How you know, boo? How she know?
If they stop killing folk, hey.
That's an outcome.
Hey. But the fact that we are aware that they're killing folk, that's an outcome. The fact that we're having this conversation is an outcome. The fact that I did watch, I haven't watched all season, but I did watch the NFL Today last week, NFL Today and NFL on Fox. And there was this conversation that was being had by men who had not had this conversation before. And these are older black men and older white men who are like, you know what?
Oh, I saw this.
I got to think about this. I'm watching Phil Simms, who played with Lawrence Taylor. You never thought about this?
I saw this
You
at Jiffy Lube.
I'm watching Boomer Science who played with Icky Woods. You never thought about this? Of course you think about this, but you don't have to think about this. And the fact that you guys are now publicly saying, okay, we need to talk about this. That is a measurable outcome.
Yeah,
because those are the minds that need to change.
And I saw something this morning on the television. I want to say it was like this conversation you're talking about, but it was also like a documentary where they were kind of interviewing young students at Howard about their perspective of what's going on
There you go.
and where people are. And that to me would be a measurable outcome because
Very
it's prime television time.
Very measurable. And then when you have Ray goddamn Lewis taking both knees,
Oh
praying
my
to
God,
God in
what?
the midst of all that chaos.
What was that?
He said he was praying to God in the midst of chaos.
Somebody said his pants was too tight and he couldn't do a kneel.
He
He would have
was
busted that
praying
crotch
to God.
open.
I'm going to say what he said. He prayed to God in the midst of chaos. That is proof.
What
that
is
measurable
the
outcome.
deal
Ray Lewis
with
took a
Ray
knee. Ray Lewis took a knee. I don't want to hear about, here's the thing I don't want to see when it comes to football. All right. Every October they have breast cancer awareness doing breast cancer awareness, right? But on the sideline they have women with all kinds of breasts that I'm aware of. I don't need to be aware during October of the cancer breast. I'm already aware of the breast and cancer breast. That being said, the number one killer of black men is
White women?
Hey-oh!
It's not my bad.
What is the word?
Hasn't the NFL always been like this kind of like organization that takes a lot of money and is a representation of other funds?
Yeah, but every business it's a conglomerate. It's a bunch of individual businesses. Each team is an individual business. And they come together under the guise of the National Football League.
Forcing the players to adhere to all the rules and regulations of
That
all
the owners come up with.
Gotcha.
Have you ever seen a combine? If you've ever seen a combine,
Like a slave,
it is a
just
fucking
like
slave
slave.
auction.
What's a
Yeah, it's a
combine?
slave
It's where they go test the players and they check their teeth and they check their ability to jump. They check their
big your
ability to
bicep,
run, and they actually put fucking these what do you call those things?
Yep.
Biceps. They measure muscles.
So wait, is this what I'm seeing when I look at the television sometimes and I see them like running these drills?
Yeah.
That's not that.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not
that's
that. But it's an event. You know where they have this event? They have this event in Indianapolis.
Yep.
You know what Indianapolis is? The home of the KKK.
I saw something on ESPN.
I just said that to say I always found that amazing because Warren Sapp, he wrote a book And he put that in his book. He said, "Oh, let's believe the combine's a fucking slave auction. That's all it is." He said, "But the NFL, it's almost amount to slavery unless you get that free agency."
Wow. I saw something on ESPN where they were like auctioning off players, but they were just holding up signs, like a picture of the person's head.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, "Okay, how much do we have?" Like, we're literally doing an auction with like Odell Beckham's face.
Yeah, they do that. I mean, but it's sport. We do that when we do fantasy football. Mm-hmm. See, here's the thing. The blueprint was already set. We take what we want and then we pay them eventually. The blueprint was already set. America was born in bullshit and it may die in bullshit unless it's aware that it doesn't have to be shitty. Again, I don't even like calling them Native Americans because they weren't Americans.
Yeah.
They weren't. They were
But weren't they on the Americas? How do you say it?
How did we get the name America? Christopher Columbus discovered this, the West, right? Amerigo Vespucci. Who the
Americas.
Who the fuck were they?
Okay, this was such a healthy conversation that I feel like in order for us to continue, it would just take hours and hours and hours. Oh. So therefore, I'm extending an invitation to come back.
Thank you.
So Haywood, you gotta come back.
I will, of course.
You gotta come back because this is
especially when
too
I'm
deep.
famous.
Yeah. Well, even when you're not booing up, we got mad shit to talk about.
How long has this been? An hour and 20 minutes?
Yes.
This is good. We had some baby crying.
We had some baby crying, so we're gonna have to cut. Oh shoot, let's see it. That's how she sleeps. Okay.
Yeah. So this is very fun, and I would love to come back. Your studio is the ambiance is amazing.
Hey.
It's eclectic. It is very eclectic. Black lives do matter.
Black lives matter up in here.
Man, because we can provide culture. And what Paul Mooney say? If we take all the shit that we take, all the big shit go with us.
Yep.
All the big shit.
All of it. Okay. So I want to say some thank yous. I want to say thank you to you.
Thank you.
For coming and blessing the podcast with your laugh and your voice and your expertise and your brilliance.
I'll give you a drop. Super Puppy Podcast.
Yeah. That's going to be on every show, every time, like everything.
You're listening to the Super Puppy Podcast.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Courtney, for the background laugh.
Courtney, I thought she got tired of us for a minute. Then she was still laughing. I was like, all right, there she go. We ain't lost it yet. Hey, boo.
Hey, boo.
Hey.
Thank you, Blue Microphones. Thank you, Maya. She's asleep.
Hey, thanks for being you, Maya.
And that is us. We are a wrap. I'm going to wrap it right now.
Wrap it.
Wrap it up.
Put it in the bowl.
Yes.
Don't call it a biscuit. Call it a Super Puppy Podcast.